So this is my Omen guide on Haven. I'm going to be trying to go over smokes a bit more generally this guide as well, just to kind of help with a lot of the problems that I think people are going to face when they play smokes, especially for the first time. So first thing that I want to go over is C on defense. So the general smoke you'll always see is this one, to defend, right? But you don't always have that luxury to place this smoke. Sometimes they're going to be fast and they're going to, especially because basically the thing with Haven is that the enemy team are always going to be trying to deny you information. So you may not always have the best of information to place this smoke. So sometimes you're going to be late placing the smoke. So it's better to place one like this. And the reason why you would place one like this is because it separates the site in a way that the enemy team can't really just like go into this smoke, right? Because you could be in it. So they're forced to kind of sort of sit in the front of site and it limits their options in the post plant. When you have backside, if you're able to like retain backside, for instance, this is actually quite a not a really common pistol, but it's like it definitely happens on pistol, where you'll play Omen, you'll go double smokes and a paranoia, and then they'll fake A, so you'll smoke you'll smoke A long like this, and then they'll be pushing up C at the same time, and then you'll have to smoke like this. In this situation, you have like multiple options, right? You can just wait for your team, try and retain backside, and wait for your team, and then you can use paranoia to either take right side. Maybe you can flash for them garage if they do a flank around here. Otherwise, you can use this smoke to sort of take back sight and sort of sit back sight, and this gives you paranoia more options as well. You can flash right side and a bit of A long, sorry, C long, and could be, or you can do one like this, which is really strong as well, which is default and like the garage sort of like corridor. Which is also really strong because a lot of people will sit there if they don't have the option of going back site. There will be like maybe a player here to help with garage or to try and hold garage, because they might just be looking for more space to take because they're going to be limited. And so sorry, I also didn't explain. So on pistol as well, when you've got like the double paranoia, or sorry, when you've got paranoia and double smokes and armor, the idea if you're playing C is to be ready to paranoia them as they run up long. That's the reason why you would probably play C in that situation. Okay, so we're gonna go over to garage next, but I don't really do too much garage. I do play garage a bit, but not a huge amount. It is fine to play garage, especially because there are options from garage you can do, like TP plays and things. If you know that, you'll get like probable success from them. Like for instance, you can do a smoke like this. This helps with stopping the enemy from pushing out as well. But you can also make plays out of it like this, like TPing at this wall. Guaranteed, not many people will check here unless they're already out garden, right? If they are like playing fairly slow from garden, they may take some time to actually check this. You may be able to like walk into window if there's no one window or something, or even the window player won't check you either. So you can actually make some pretty cool plays at that smoke. Obviously you can combine it with paranoia as well, and it's only going to get stronger if you want to paranoid the right side. Or like near enough like kind of this, because then it stops these players from checking you as fast if they're like already out. Let's go over to B. Once again, there's not really much you can do on B for a defense, right? It's just the average smoke. But if I do actually play B, then I'm going to be sitting on. I said there's not much you can do on B. There's actually quite a bit you can do on B. I TP on the box, and play this angle sometimes. Actually, I was doing it a lot in my most recent stream. I was playing when I was playing Omen on Haven. But you can also do the spam as well. So you just ping anywhere in the doorway you want to go for, and there you go. You got the ability to spam more safe. You can always jump back over onto this box. You can also do unfortunately you can't jump there, but you can TP on the buy face. And what I like to do sometimes is I'll crouch and then I'll walk over to the right until see how I have the 1, 2, 3. I have my loadout on the right. I don't actually, so not many people do that, but I personally like it. I line it up with this line here. So I look straight down, line up with this line, and what that allows me to do, I got an off angle now. So the enemy team, when they come out, so if I just actually wait, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Actually, I'm a bit further out than no, I'm not. There you go. So what it does is it basically gives me an off angle, where you'll see like this is where they have to be to see me. Right, but by then they probably would stop looking up top here. They'll just be like taking this angle. They'll take note that no one's on top right now. They may end up pre-aiming this angle, but generally they're going to pre-aim below. And then I'll get my free kill. from playing in the off angle on this back like board bit or whatever it's called, backside, I guess. Next we'll move on to A. So on A, smokes are going to look like this. I don't really play A that much because I generally have Initiator and Duelist that play here all the time, so I don't tend to play A. But these are what my smokes would look like if I was to smoke A. I also, if I do want to play A, I'm probably going to be using the verticality in some way. I'm going to be on this box or this box, either peeking short or I'll be doing something long. But most of the time I'll probably be doing something short on this box, as it's, I think, the easier play. Not always the best play, but definitely the easy one. And that's basically it for some of the stuff on defense. You can also do a smoke like this. Help your teammates take lobby. Yeah, once again, like, Omen can smoke from anywhere, so don't feel like you have to do it from where I am. You can do it from a link, and you can do a blind for them as well. As they go up into like short or from long, and then you can try and take the A lobby space early. When it comes to your ult is kind of one of those things in defense where it's all about predicting plays or being very close to, or trying to get like a free flank, or not really exactly a free flank, but a flank, or like trying to, most of the time, trying to be fast with the retake on A. Like you actually like want to be there quite quickly because retaking A is really hard, and so giving yourself enough time to kind of maybe play patiently and try and get a pick on like an enemy making a mistake might be quite crucial. It might be nice just to TP heaven sometimes to like catch up with your teammates on the retake and things like that. Or just like if you think it's being taken and you think your teammates need help, you can just TP to the site. Like if they're taking short, or if your teammates are losing deep short, you can just be there, try and follow up, if possible. But bear in mind, like that is like really hard to do, because yeah, I think people die in an instant in this game, so it's really hard to like TP exactly predict that and all that stuff. But generally, you're going to be using it for rotations on defense and flanks on defense. Most of the time. So we're going to attack. I actually forgot one thing. Let me just quickly. So on post plant, I was mainly talking about your C for the post plant, but you can do. So on defense, right? The best way to smoke for post plant varies on like how many people are alive. If you're in a 1v1, sometimes the better smoke is to just smoke on top of the bomb and then start defusing the bomb. Because what you do is you own the smoke then, right? You have the smoke. So if the enemy can't just like swing, say, this smoke and fight you instantly, right? You're giving them the smoke by placing it here sometimes in a 1v1, instead of allowing yourself to have this smoke. Bear in mind, you are technically a bit more spammable, but most of the time, like, players aren't gonna like miss their spam on the bomb because everyone can ping it, right? I said that actually in reality, lots of people do miss the spray on the bomb. But yeah, I guess it technically makes it easier with this smoke, but not like terrible. You can also do the smoke as well. As I said, generally you probably want to do this when you have like a person advantage. The reason why you do it when you got person advantage, especially if you don't know where the enemy is, but generally you want to do it if you've got person advantage, because the reason why is because they can see the enemy, your teammate will be able to see when they swing and try and shoot the diffuser, right? It won't be like weird where you've got the smoke on the bomb and somehow they've managed to get into the smoke and your teammate's outside the smoke, and now all of a sudden, like, the tides have turned, like they have to push into the smoke to defuse and kill the enemy, and it's going to be really, really hard. I see that happen way too much. It happens a lot. Actually, funny enough, if you want to understand it a bit more, like, think about on Icebox, when your teammate needed to plant the bomb on B and Jets would smoke the person planting. Most of the time that was bad. The reason why that was bad is because if the enemy was going to push your teammate while they were planting, you can't trade very easily because you just have to spray the smoke and hope that you would hit them. And when really, in reality, like the enemy team, or the enemy player probably had no chance of killing the planter if you just didn't smoke, because they wouldn't have the smoke to then go kill the planter, you know? It's kind of similar to that, right? Where you don't want to give your enemy a way to like kill your teammate for free or kill you for free. So you want to put like smokes that like they have to push both of you and expose themselves to both of you at the same time to actually win that 2v1. And obviously this goes for like even 2v2s and things like that as well. But this smoke tends to be better, but obviously in 1v1s there's an argument for this smoke to be better. Okay, so on attack, I'm going to talk about some of the more general things first, and then we're going to go over bit more of the other things, like the actual attacking C and post plant, or attacking sites and post plant, not C. Well, C is included, but I meant the site. So the first thing is we're gonna look at the ult. The ult you can always use to pick up the spike. When you cancel it, that's when you'll get the spike back. So there you go. That's a little tech with Omen, if you didn't know that. It's a very, very common one, very, very well known. So yeah, I guess most people probably would know that already. So the other thing with Haven is that if you watch my Haven video I've recently uploaded, I was talking about how to play attack on this map. And so the main thing on attack is to deny information from the enemy. So smoke such as this can be really strong because the long player can't get the information on lobby. So it means that they don't know what's happening. So agents like Sova and Sky might actually have to use util to find out if anyone's here, like towards the end of the smoke maybe, or like if you keep using like re-upping the smoke as well, it can be really, really tough for them to actually get info in the round. Other smokes this may like other smokes like this as well are ones like this. In B stops the B player from getting any sort of info mid. There's also even this fine stops the garage player from getting like small slivers of info through the doorway. You can also do the same in window as well. Window or smoke is probably a bit better, as it may force the enemy into a bad position in garage instead of just sitting in the window. Potentially anyway. And there's also this one on C, which stops the enemy on C looking at C long. This one also has quite a nice purpose as well, as if you have a flash, like a pop flash like Sky, they can pop flash out the smoke. And then you have like, you can probably combine it with this flash. We'll also go over in a minute when we're attacking C. And then you can pop flash out C with that flash as well. Okay, you need to be closer. This needs to be closer. This needs to actually connect because you don't want these gaps. Sorry, I didn't mean to place it wrong. So yeah, that's it for like the neutral part of Haven. With Omen, you're just all about denying information. You have one of the best tools in the smoke that can do that. Your ult is also quite fun in neutral sometimes as well, where you can find a TP into a position they don't usually play off a read, right? If you know they don't ever play tower, or they play like a light A, then you can always just like ult tower. If they play like light C, you can do like a TP here instead, and you can sort of be behind the C player and maybe try and find a 1v1 or something. If you're like maybe even a light buy, like if you're on like a sheriff or something, or maybe less like a stinger, or as I say, less more than that, like a stinger. That could probably win a 1v1 at close range, stuff like that. Could be really, really strong with your ult in neutral. So then we're going to talk about the actual site taking. So we're going to start off with C. So on C, I'm going to do a quick dry run of what I would do on C. So usually I'm going to place a smoke in this corridor. And then I'm going to run up and I'm going to blind the right side. And then I'm going to, while running up, not blind CT, smoke CT. So the reason why, sorry, I'll go over each one individually. So this smoke is the average smoke, but generally this has a weakness versus pop flashes, as the pop flash is able to get right out the smoke, like out the doorway and the smoke at the same time, and they're on site instantly, right? And they can flash a lot from this position. So what you want to do is you want to do it a bit deeper if you're against a pop flash, and you know that the pop flash is going to come through garage, especially like if you're against a Sky or a Phoenix, they're probably going to play through garage with their flashes. And you want to put it a bit deeper. So the reason why you put it deeper, Phoenix, for instance, is going to have a tough time. He literally can't flash out the smoke in any meaningful way because the walls are going to prevent him from flashing a decent amount of the site. And it's going to be a bit tougher for him to like run out. Okay, I'm doing it a bit too shallow here as well. You can do it really deep if you want to. It doesn't really matter if it bleeds on this side. Unless you've got someone garage, I guess. But you probably won't. At least in my experience, you won't. And what will happen is the Phoenix will have a tough time flashing out. He'll have to like push through the smoke and then flash out if he wants a really meaningful flash. But obviously that's really risky because he's just running out of smoke with his grenade, taking over all fight first most of the time. Unless he's got two flashes, I guess, which he probably might do if you're just like straight going C. But you know, maybe he's fine doing it. But for the most part, the flash is going to be bad. Sky as well is going to have a tough time with it as well, because her bird is going to take time to come out and flash on the corner. So you're going to have time to look away. And the same with KO as well. KO is going to have a tough time too, because he's going to have to find the nice angle to bounce off the wall and still get everything. and I'm pretty sure that he'd have to stand quite far back to get his like running back flash. He'd have to stand a bit here to get the running back flash. So that's quite tough for him as well because he can't really follow up himself. He has to have a teammate there. So otherwise he'd have to find one off the wall probably is more likely. Then we talk about the blind, which is a bit more simple. The reason you buy your blind this is because if anyone's on right side, they can't retaliate versus the jet or like someone dashing into side, right? So the jet's gonna dash and look left, and she's gonna take any fights on left. While that's happening, this person is blinded. So therefore, either the jet might get a free kill because this person is blinded if she decides to fight this. And the reason why she might decide to fight this is that she didn't see anything left. And if she didn't see anything left, she might try and fight right off the flash. If she sees something left, then the person on the right can't help their teammate because they're blind. So that's the reason why you would flash like that. It also hits like a very annoying position here, which can be a very annoying position to deal with sometimes. But you will have hopefully like a Sova or something to help you with like backside and things. And this position, to be fair, but the flashes adds a layer of strength to the take. And then we've got the last flash, oh my god, I can't speak today. Last smoke. This smoke is the normal smoke. It just stops players from sitting in these angles and fighting these people, because these people, like the people over here, can't help against that fight, right? Because this wall's in the way. So you want to avoid that and just place a smoke like that, like this. If you do have like a judge or something on your team, and they'll play like, they can play so far up like this with this smoke. But generally this is not what you want to do, because it's not really that useful. For instance, on this side, the enemy can swing out the smoke, and therefore it's harder because you'll probably have to move your crosshair and adjust your crosshair sideways. And you don't quite have the same advantage that you would with this one, where with this one, if you can like predict where they're going to come from, like the walls, right? And you do a lot less adjustment to an enemy that's running straight out of smoke at you. Like there's a lot less adjustment for an enemy walking towards you than there is for an enemy swinging a smoke, like this, right? For an enemy swinging a smoke like this, there's a lot more adjustment than what it was if I was just going to straight run out the smoke. And that's what this smoke could have looks at, really. They can super wide swing out the smoke, which is quite annoying. You don't want that to happen. So generally you do want to be smoking like this, and you also want to make sure that you're running up. Don't just sit in this corner and smoke. You want to be running up, smoking at the same time. I know you'd smoke it better than I did. You don't want to leave this gap, even though it's unlikely people will use this gap. Very, very unlikely, if not impossible. Like 99% of the time they won't. It's like really close to being impossible, really, or not really impossible, but just they barely ever will do it, or have the presence of mind to do it. But they might just sit in like a corner here. If you just do it a bit more this way, and then they can swing without the smoke being there. But you know, it's very unlikely that happens. They're being punished, especially here as well. Okay, we're gonna go over to attacking garage. So when I'm attacking garage, my dry run would be something similar to this. So we do the regular old smoke garage window and a smoke C. And then this is going to kind of get varied. I might do a flash like this. I might do a flash deeper line like this. I might do a flash that hits backside like this. It really depends on where I think the enemy is playing. I also might do a TP like this. Bear in mind, I only do this TP if I know there's no one C main or C long. Sorry, and that's sort of how it will go for me from garage. The reason why I want this smoke on window is self-explanatory. You want to block off this sight line because it's a horrible sight line to deal with if you're going into garage. And the same with C, right? I've just explained this smoke, so that's completely fine. The TP I've just explained is that I only do it if there is someone C long, and these flashes are based on my read of where I think the enemy is, or even on sound in the current map, the current round, right? If I hear someone jumping up logs, I'm not going to ignore it. I might just flash the logs player and fight the logs player. And then we're going to B. On B, my drone will look something similar to this. So you notice that I'm smoking A link first, and that's just because in my personal experience, most people are going to fight out of A long first, or sorry, A link first. But that just might be my experience. It might not actually be the reality of the situation. But for me, I always smoke A link first, and then B and then C link. Then when it comes to post plant, I actually forgot to talk about post plant on C, I think. But when I post plant on B, I'm going to do not a smoke like that. Sorry, I misclicked. You want to do a smoke like this. If one way is the bomb. I don't think I even talked about one way on C that you can do. This one. So on post plant on C, this is the smoke that I'd do. I might just re-smoke as well. Very possible. Especially on B as well. If we've still got like some of B's territory, like we've still got a player in B, then instead of doing this smoke, I'll do one on one of the links. Or I might even do one a bit further forward, like this. If we've got like a close angle over here, right? As you can see, the smoke can be a bit more annoying, because even though it does give them more space and they can kind of go around here like this, it sort of like nullifies the chance of this ever happening, like them running through. And if they do run through, they're running forward straight into this person. So sometimes it can be stronger to do that. But most of the time, when re-smoking, it's probably better to just give them as little space as possible. But obviously when re-smoking, sometimes they would have already taken space. So the reason why I do one a bit further forward, as it can have a bit more impact because they'll be less likely to be through that one already. You know what I mean? And that's kind of it for B. Usually when I go B, we're going to be on a weaker buy as well. We're going to be on like we're going to be at a disadvantage in some way. They might have like 5 ults, or they might have like 3 ults that are meaningful or something. And we have no ults, and we have maybe a little less money. We have like some half armors and things. So therefore, we're probably going to try and go B, because B is one of those sites that are just a bit easier to take. And you know, a couple of mistakes in your team means you might even win the retake, despite it being a bit disadvantaged for you. So what I'll do is sometimes I'll do some aggressive plays, like such as taking a link with a flash. Bear in mind this will be smoked by me, right? So then I can take a link with a flash. It lines up really nicely. And then I'll call a teammate to do this. By the way, I won't just do it alone. Call a teammate to do this, and we'll pop out the smoke and try and get the kills in a link. And what this will do is it will split the map a bit, where we'll own like some mid and a link. They may own garage and C link. We've kind of split the map and made it a bit more conventional, where they may have to try and take mid now because we've taken a link, you know, that kind of stuff. Otherwise, they're going to have to come in from like one angle, and it's going to really suck for them to try and win this retake from one angle. When, you know, they're playing, you know, on B, the point is with B is that it's really hard to defend the retake, because there's so many angles to worry about, and it's just a horrible little doorway that you can play post plant from sometimes, and the B site in general doesn't have that many like angles to sit in. So it's quite hard to actually defend the retake. But we can make it more favorable for ourselves by taking one of the links. Generally, A link is easier, because C link has garage, and garage can be a bit harder to fight from B. Okay, so then we go on to A. So my A drive run looks a bit like this. So I'm going to TP close to this. Sometimes you'll see players do this one as well, which is fine too. And then I'll do a smoke. I'll just do my smokes basically. If I need to do them early. And if I don't, then if we don't have a drone or a dog as well, I might even do a flash like this. Sometimes I'll do a supportive flash from this angle, like either here or something. Sometimes it depends if they have like an op, or if I think someone's going to peek. I can flash all of long if I think that my TP, if I TP across, and we know they're going to play an op there or something, then I can do this TP. Then I can do this TP and flash. And then when I get close enough, I'm going to be doing the smokes. Once again, you want to be doing the smokes when kind of taking space. These are horrendous smokes, by the way. A lot of bleeding going on there. You want to do it a bit deeper than this. You want to do it deeper than this. Especially with this wall. That's kind of how you want it to be. I might do some TPs out of this as well. A good way to stop yourself from doing this TP by accident is to just, because there'll probably be an enemy smoke here. What you can do is you can just quickly go on the map, ping this, aim at the ping, and you're never going to go on the top of the box. If you want to, you can do that with all Omen smokes, all Omen TPs. You can even do it the inverse if you want to go on top of a box through a smoke. Then you can aim at the ping on top of the box. There you go. It's a nice little Omen tech that if you're like maybe you're not like too super comfortable at Omen, then you can do that sort of stuff. You can do a smoke like this as well. The reason why I would do this smoke is that sometimes I would have a killjoy that would actually place their alarm bot here. This is usually if we go A lobby fairly fast. If we go A fast, we might just have a turret here at the back. and then I'll have like, we'll have a turret, we'll have an alarm bot here because she won't place it anywhere else. And so I'll place this smoke here. The reason why I place it here is because when they come out the smoke, they're going to be attacked by the alarm bot and exposed to a bunch of angles. So they're going to have a tough time shooting the alarm bot and also defending themselves from all the angles. Because if I did it like this, like the normal smoke, they'd walk into this smoke and then get attacked by the alarm bot, and they won't be exposed to all these angles because the smoke's in the way. So if the alarm bot's there, I'm going to make sure that they're exposed to angles at the same time as hitting the alarm bot, like this. And there are also ways to follow up, like a paranoia from this angle, which is a very strong paranoia. This is one of the strongest paranoias for post plant. And the same with, I mean, this one isn't one of the strongest ones, but you can follow up with the alarm bot over here, like this. Okay, maybe I actually aim at the ping instead of not aiming at the ping like that. And then there's also the post plant one way that you can do on basically every site on this map. You want to make sure it's not quite on the edge of the box. The reason why is because if it's on the edge of the box, it won't actually expose people if they're in the center of the smoke, and sometimes that can lose your rounds. So yeah, you want to be doing it kind of in the central part of the box if you can. And that's kind of it for attack. Sometimes you'll do some TPs up into heaven as well. But generally you'll want to do that if you're on like eco, or if you're on like a disadvantage 2v4 or something. You need to try and find an advantage. So when you appear, I would stay away from holding this angle like this, because the angle itself is not great. The reason why is because when you're going to track someone on this angle, you kind of have to, well, first of all, you won't be putting your crosshair here, you'll put it out here somewhere. And the second reason why, well, not the second reason, but the reason why it's bad is because you have to track them up and to the right instead of just to the right. When most other angles in the game, you just have to track horizontally. You have to track, say track, but not really track, but you have to, but when they swing you, you know, you have to adjust horizontally. With this, you are adjusting horizontally and vertically at the same time, and it's a bit more difficult. It's a lot more difficult, actually, when you could just fight. I mean, this one kind of sucks too. So most of the time, you probably are going to be swinging this and trying to find a fight, especially because if it's in the 2v4, you probably want to find an early fight. Probably don't want to wait until they have the opportunity to just play for trades, because then if you play for trades, you're going to be in a 2v0 at some point, where the enemy team have won by 2 kills, or by 2 people. So yeah, that's basically it for the guide. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one.